man. I do what I do.
Think about it. They tell you that single motherhood is liberation, or otherwise the black man's fault. They tell you that these gang members are going to come up and be our warriors. They tell you it's survival. They constantly blaming the white man for every single failure that we have. It's a legitimate strategy. There's no accountability, no solutions, just endless victimhood porn. Now, when I go back to my foundational black American brothers who were fresh out of slavery, they built things, they existed, they did well. And clearly the slavery that we had to deal with and the oppression we had to deal with in 1880 was far worse than what we're dealing with now. But you got these Pan-Africanists who got you looking at pie in the sky in Africa to go over there. They're going to have you going over there pooping in a hole right now. There's plenty of black folk that went over to Africa and said, oh no, I'm ready to get on back to the US. And let's get real about something, family. Since they like to lecture us. Why would we want that culture? Foundational black American men are the most involved fathers of any other racial group in the United States. Don't take my word for it. Take it from the CBS News and the CDC. The studies show that black Americans spend more time with their children, help with homework, cook meals, and take them activities and more than whites, Latinos, and Asians, men. Now contrast that with these Africans. Now I want you to understand something. Have you heard what these African children are saying about their African parents? I want you to hear me. Slapping kids across the face, brutal beatings, public humiliation, guilt trips, emotional blackmail. This is what the African children, this is what the second generation African children are saying about their own parents. They're saying you don't raise them, they say you dominate them. You instill fear, not respect. You teach them submission. You don't discipline them. That's not parenting. That's slave master behavior. And it is passed down and repackaged as tradition. You all even admitted that the African children are expected to serve the parent financially, emotionally, and once they grow up, regardless of whether that parent was abusive or absentee or toxic. And this is why you have no generational wealth, because your children's wealth is not theirs. It's yours in your mind. You leech off of your children and you call it honor. That's not legacy. That's economic vampirism. And you wonder why your kids run off to London and the United States the moment they get a student visa or a green card, because they're trying to escape you. They don't want to carry dead weight of toxic family dynamic that bleeds them dry. And don't get me started about the DV. That's normalized in your communities. It is so rampant, and I mentioned this earlier, it is so rampant that African women in the UK and the US have made it a routine to call police on their husbands, not for criminal acts, but for coming home late. You think we want that as foundational black Americans? You think we want a culture where the state is called to solve petty disputes because emotional maturity is absent? Let's be honest. Your culture isn't built for survival in America. They would eat you alive. Because you used to be in the majority. You built your customs and your ethics and your social structure in lands where everybody looked like you, where your skin was never a liability, where you didn't have to constantly code switch or decipher dog whistles or survive a system designed to criminalize your very existence. That's not the case here. See, in America, we're surrounded by people who are trained to hate us, okay? And they trained to hate us from birth. We had to develop a culture of resistance, not deference. A culture of innovation, not imitation. A culture of self-sufficiency, not dependency. That's why your culture fails here. It wasn't built for warfare. It was built for homogeny. See, we were built for war. You gave away warriors, mothers, children, medicine men, and craftsmen to Arabs and Europeans for minor for rum and muskets. You betrayed your own kin because of tribal pride and petty power grabs. And you're still divided. You're still selling out. Shout out to David Johnson. You still can't unite long enough to kick out the French or the Chinese. You helped start the fire, and now you want to teach us how to put it out. No, thank you. And that's why we've created a new name. That foundational Black American name. That's why we're running with that. Because we need to distinguish ourselves from immigrants who do not share our experience or our sacrifice or our struggle. This isn't about skin tone. It's about ethnicity. It's about lineage. It's about who bled on this land. From the cotton fields to the courtrooms, from the plantations to the presidency, we built this country. Every gain you enjoy, every visa, every scholarship, every diversity quota was bought and paid for by our suffering. So don't come over here with ignorance. Don't come over here trying to, here thinking we need to assimilate with you. This is our house. You're just visiting. We don't want your culture. We don't need your approval. And we don't, look, you're not our kin. You're definitely not our kindred spirit. And the sooner you realize that we're not the same, the better you'll be. It is what it is. Now, I hit on something. These Africans and Caribbeans, you're not built for Western world living. As I mentioned earlier, there's a trend, and I'm talking about reports out of the UK, where these people are weaponizing the state against their own men, Nigerian women. Shout out to James Harper. Much like Caribbean women over there, they calling the police on their men over domestic disputes. It's not about safety, it's about control. When the wife calls the police because her husband is late from work, that's not protection, it's manipulation. It's an attempt to impose dominance through fear and institutional power. It's also a dangerous playbook borrowed from white feminists, and it betrays the fragility of African household culture when removed from its homeland context. But see, the thing is, what this points to is a deeper issue. It's a foundational disconnect between African men and African women in the diaspora. See, y'all want to talk about us. I can dig deep. I usually let y'all do whatever you do. I don't get in your business, but you like to get in there. You like to talk about our incarceration rate. Let's talk about your DV rate. How y'all be hitting your women upside the head. How them women over in Africa, some of them don't even know who the daddy is. Highest rate of paternity fraud in the diaspora, aside from Jamaica. I think 70% of the children tested in Jamaica, they ain't even the real daddy. Since y'all want to talk about foundational Black America so much, we're going to talk about you. You calling the police on your man because he late for work. So you got these African men who bring these patriarchal expectations forward to their home countries where they dominate. But in the West, oh no, there's a different power dynamic. That collapses. The women now empowered by legal system use the state as their enforcer. The result? Mutual distrust, fractured homes, and broken communities. Caribbean households face the same turmoil. The British press, and this is right now, this is what's going on right now amongst African and Caribbean families in the British, in Great Britain. The British press has the highest documented rates of single motherhood and fatherlessness in the Caribbean. This is what y'all doing over there. Y'all over there making single mothers too. And you got the nerve to talk about foundational Black America. Think about that. We don't need no help from y'all. None. Somebody type none. Shout out to Hoosie. We don't want your culture. We don't want no exotic degenerate culture. And I've already told y'all about this hip hop community and all the degenerate artists that came up here and just infiltrated hip hop and just made it nasty.
Black father, black son.
Tune in, weekly feeling inspired. From the heart, real talking night. Every episode brings the light. Subscribe, hit the like, won't you dare. Share the love, you know it's family. Join us every week, don't be late. Drop some coins in the collection plate. Drop some coins, enjoy the ride. Come say hi, catch the wave, don't pass by. Lifted spirits always inside. In this podcast, joy takes flight. Subscribe, hit the like, won't you dare. Share the love, you know it's fair. Join us every week, don't be late. Drop some coins in the collection plate. Drop some coins.
Donation. I thought it was a class.
Hey man, I'll do what I do.
You know that.
Your ass class, don't come over here. You tall black mother. Women up inside. I don't give a fuck about